I forgot to record, so I'm going to start recording now. Unfortunately, we're missing a little bit of class, so I apologize. Is my screen sharing? Okay. All right. So let's see. What I need you to know is, how to run a business, how to um, handle staff, handle employees or staff and customers, and make sure that people are happy, they're content, they want to come back for more in my restaurant. We're trying to please people. And Desiree, was that you that was the pleaser, or who was the pleaser? Oh, I I can't see I can't see y'all when I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, I think that's me,
Okay,
Nadia.
not Nadia. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I only see a few people on my screen. So not Nadia. Like for example, you're a pleaser. You want to please people with your food, and that is what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to make people come back. And sometimes it's not always the food; it's the atmosphere that maybe people come back for as well. And like the Oasis. Some people back a long time ago, there was a restaurant called the Oasis, or it still is, but that restaurant didn't. A lot of people didn't like the food, but now, but they loved the atmosphere. So but no matter what, you're trying to please your customers, okay, and make them come back for more. Um, It's kind of weird. Are y'all seeing closed captioning switch down?
Yes.
That's interesting. I've never
Yes,
seen
Chef,
that.
I see it as well.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I've never seen it. So,
Good for people with hearing problems.
yeah, no, it's very cool. I love it. So let's see. Okay, now a good, if you've ever seen, there was a show, TV show, and this was years ago, called the Restaurant. It was Rocco DeSpiro. He was a is a chef, and he graduated from the CIA. But if you want to see a someone that got everything handed to him on a silver platter, and he had a restaurant, he had all of this set up for himself, but it fell apart because he didn't know how to run a business. He had just gotten out of school, and he didn't know much, and he failed. And if you ever want to, and I'm probably still around the show, but it's called The Restaurant. If you ever want to try to find it, that is a show that you want to watch, so you will not ever run a business to the ground. He had $1 million restaurant, and he lost it all. Um, his mother was helping, and all of that sort of stuff, but no matter what, he did not know how to run a business. The fame, the excitement of the restaurant, all of that. Yeah, it was part of a TV show as well. So all of that created him, or he started getting this fame, and the way he treated his mother, the way he did treated his customers, and it was on TV, and it was a horrible deal where he lost his shirt, got into legal aspect, legal issues with customers and purveyors and all sorts of things because he couldn't pay his bills. All of these things. And the reason why we bring this up is because restaurants fail, man. Restaurants fail. And you need to know how to make a restaurant not fail. And I'm saying restaurant, but that could be whatever business you are in right now, no matter what. And we're going to give you those tools so you can understand how not to fail. And you're going to see people fail, and you're going to use those examples and try not to reinvent the wheel or try to not redo that same mistake over again. So you want to, let's see. You need, this is talking about spreadsheets. We're gonna not really go over spreadsheets right now because I show of hands here. Let me stop sharing real quick so I can see everybody. Show of hands, who knows how to use it, Excel or Google spreadsheets? Has anybody ever done Google spreadsheets? Raise it up a little higher so I can see. Thumb up. Okay. So everybody, Trevon. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so everybody. So I don't, and this is for basic beginner because this was for the newbies. I set it up for the newbies, so that's why you probably. All right, so so basic spreadsheet. I'm going to just kind of breeze through this real quick. You can benefits. You can do tracking. You can do inventory, cost tracking, revenue data. It's just basically a way to track numbers and data. And you can, for example, here creating a spreadsheet. This is how to create a spreadsheet. So if you need to know or you don't know how to create a spreadsheet, this is kind of the process. You can enter a title, name, columns, all of these things. You're going to see this done, but you don't have to create any of this. You do not have to create a spreadsheet because I will be, there's already one created for you for this project. But this is kind of goes over the process of how it creates the data. You can put all the dairy, juice, alcohol, you name it. You can put the name, you can put how much it is. And then so when you're doing inventory, you can type in, okay, I've got 5 gallons or whatever else, and it calculates how much everything is. Okay. So it's just a way to help calculate or to organize certain things, and you can make it bold, you can italicize, you can do many different things, make it all colors. You can create the cells. Your cells can be different colors. And, this is something that I think most people kind of have a little understanding on this. So you can change it fonts, you can do just about anything to this. You can set it up to where it'll do dollar signs or do time, or like if you're doing a schedule. This is a great, because we're going to be talking about building schedules, like a work schedule. These are ways you can build a work schedule and have your employees have it set up so where they can just download their schedule in a PDF form or what have you. let's see, like I said, you can change it and do dollar amounts. You can do just about any sort of different things. Filters, you can just do about anything to this, to the spreadsheet. Very, very, I would say now Excel, I would say a little more user friendly, bless you, Mike. But Google Docs or Google Sheets, I still think they're pretty straightforward and pretty easy. But if you have any questions while we're working on, if you're working on a spreadsheet, please don't ever hesitate to ask me, because I will help you out. But I just don't think we need to go over creating a spreadsheet right now. But using filters, you can change it. You can clear things. I mean, just you name it, you can do it on a spreadsheet. Quick tips. Changing columns width and angles. You can just kind of move it back and forth. Pretty straightforward. Y'all good on this? Yes? All right, cool. Then I can get more into the meat and potatoes of the class and not this. All right. So goals. What we want our business to be successful, correct? Okay. What are the things that we can avoid? What are the things that we need to avoid to make things successful, or what do we need to do to make our business successful? Someone give me something. What's a thing that will make our business successful? Anybody?
Make it successful?
Yeah.
Good communication and customer service.
Good communication, good customer service. What else?
Planning ahead.
Planning ahead, for sure. I agree on that. What else?
Taking stock and inventory of like pretty much everything, every item that you're going to use, every item that you buy and every item that you use.
Exactly.
And make sure that waste is down.
Exactly. Now, in taking inventory, making sure that you know what you're buying and know what it costs as well. Making sure you know how to cost things, I think is very important. What are some things that would make your restaurant fail? Anybody?
Being hard on the workers, like being
that's one. But I mean, that I think being too hard. I think also just mismanagement of not managing your workers properly. I would say making sure that you do the inventory, because if you don't do the inventory, then you could fail. Because you just don't know what's in there. So making sure that you avoid these barriers, like just anything. What are some other things that make restaurants fail? Anybody else?
Lack of financial planning.
There you go. Lack of financial planning. Yeah, I mean that's a big one right there. I think financial planning is a huge one. Bad people management, I think, is a really big one. When you are managing people, who's had a bad manager? Anybody had a bad manager? I know I have. I think everybody's had probably a bad manager once or twice. And with bad management, people get disgruntled, correct? Has anybody ever seen a disgruntled employee before? Some employee that's upset, that creates a disturbance, that creates, issues and all of that. And that could cause a big problem in your restaurant. That's a huge issue. Disgruntled employees, disgruntled even customers, but bad people management. And you need to know how to talk to people. You need to know how to confront people. You need to know how to confront people without getting someone aggressive to you. And there are ways like, going up and not, and my kids know, my wife knows, I've got the worst RBF ever. Like I always look like I'm pissed off because I'm always squinting, or I'm just got this look on my face like something sour. It's just, I don't know. I just have the worst resting bitch face ever. Right. So, everybody always thinks I'm kind of pissed off or whatever else. And it's one of those things where as a manager, I acknowledge that I have that RBF, really bad RBF. So I need to make sure I, go up and hey, and just try to not create issues. So you need to really be careful when you're managing people, and understand everybody is a little different, and you've got to treat people a little, because somebody might need a pat on the back, the other person might need a swift kick in the butt. It really kind of depends on who you manage, who are you managing. So, that's very important as well. Lack of accounting skills, for sure. That causes huge issues. Guys, if you're not accountant, I would go hire someone. I would never be, if you feel like, if you got a restaurant and you want to, I would say you're good at the cooking part, let the accountant do the money part. Let those specialty people do that. Sometimes chefs are great at the cooking part and the creation and all the ins and outs, but sometimes we're not the best at the math. So if that's the case, man, go hire someone, go find someone, because if you don't have the right accounting and you're not accounting it properly, you're going to fail in your restaurant or your pastry place or your bakery or any of those sort of places, that they will fail. So you need to really, really be careful, especially nowadays with COVID. Everybody's just very watching their pennies, watching every little bit of money that's going in and out. Spotty customer service. That's another thing that for reasons why restaurants fail. Who's ever been to a restaurant that had bad customer service? Anybody? I mean, give me an example of a bad customer service you've had. Anybody?
I have an example.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So I went to IHOP.
Okay.
And I walk in, and usually they're okay with the service. They're fine, but basically the server took our order and she has filled my glass with water, and she did not come in, she wasn't actually rounding the tables properly. She was just talking to one table for forever. And then we got our food and it was cold, and she didn't refill my drink or anything, or even ask me if I wanted like my water refilled.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even stay long enough to ask us how the food was, if we were okay with the food, if it was fine. And then that entire time, she did not come back to our table.
Really?
Yeah, the entire time. She was just talking to one
Wow.
table. I know, she's talking to one table, like 3 tables down, and she didn't come even check on us, come to refill glasses, nothing. So when we walked to the counter to like check everything out and put like pay the money and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
pay a tip, I didn't pay a tip. And the manager was like, "Oh, is something wrong?" I was like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong." And usually, like at the same time, I was working as a server at a steakhouse,
Uh-huh.
where I understand if you're really busy, if you're really behind, if you're in the weeds, I get it. Like things get busy, things get hectic.
Yeah.
If I see you walking around constantly, like doing what you need to do, I would still give you a tip. But the thing is I'm not okay with someone that just sits there and talks to like a table the entire time.
No, I agree. I agree. And that customer service is horrible, right? I mean, that was
Yes.
horrible. And you got a bad taste in your mouth. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, why am I spending this money to go to this place to get ignored, to get not good service? And as a customer, I wouldn't want to go back and spend my money doing the same, doing that, so it is very important that you have good customer service and not spotty, because maybe you went there a couple of months ago and it was great, but now it sucks, and you gotta, and it's, and I'm spending my own hard-earned money, you're spending your hard-earned money, and you've just got to realize, you know, maybe there's other restaurants that I want to go to that have better service and all of that. So yeah, I mean that's a horrible way, and they're going to lose business that way. And especially now during COVID time, no matter what, you need you need that business. You need those asses in those chairs every single day. You need it, because if not, you're not going to be able um, to keep your doors open. So yeah, spotty customer service is one thing that's going to make it bad. And I would say spotty cooking, or like the food that's good one day, and then the next day I come back and it's not the same quality, or it's a different recipe, or it's the the you know quality of the food has gone down, and that also makes me not want to go to that restaurant. And that's another reason why restaurants fail. uh, Poor food quality, our par food, like just not having um, the proper food, if the, let's say, one of the chefs, or one of the, who is it, let's say the saute person, whoever the saute person was, is sick today, and then all the recipes might be just a little different because this person does their own thing. So, and they're not keeping the consistency with the recipes. So making sure all the recipes are consistent, and your employees are cooking the food consistently every single day, that's very, very important as well, to keep a restaurant up and running, because if it's not consistent or poor quality food, no one really wants it. All right. And then buying product as well, making sure that your product is properly cut. You can lose a lot of food by, over peeling, doing a lot more waste. If someone over peels a potato or over peels a apple, and you peel it and you're getting more into the meat of the apple, and you're throwing a lot away of a lot of the meat of the apple, or a lot of the potato. You're just throwing away money, right? So no matter what, you've got to be very careful. Or for example, a pineapple, this pineapple, if someone starts cutting a pineapple and they cut too much into that pineapple, and you're losing a lot more of that pineapple, you're throwing away lots of money. 10 pounds, or this saying it's throwing away $40 in the trash. That's right. You've got to be very careful on how much you throw away when you're cleaning meat or whatever else. Cut too much off, then that could easily cause your business to fail because you're throwing away more money. And I can't remember who said it, but this morning, but someone was saying, controlling cost and waste and all of that. And that is very important. Waste is so important. When I was running a restaurant, there was some times where I would actually take away all the garbage cans from the kitchen. I removed every single garbage can away, and I gave all my employees bowls. And I said, okay, you put all your garbage in a bowl, and I'm going to look at it before you throw it in the garbage can. And I realized that I had some people cutting too much of the bell pepper. They would cut the top of the bell pepper off, but there was so much of that meat of the bell pepper that they were throwing in the garbage can. That was about a penny's worth of the bell pepper, worth of a bell pepper in the garbage can, and they were doing a whole case of bell peppers, and so that was almost $5 worth of bell peppers that were in the garbage that they were cutting off. So I do that every single day, 2 shifts a day, right? So that's $10 of bell peppers they were throwing in the garbage every single day. And that was Monday through Friday. We did this twice a day, 2 cases a day. So every day we would lose $10 of bell pepper. So then you add that up in a year, that's a lot of money. So you've got to really realize that these little things are, like, for example, salt. People, will put a container of salt on their table or whatever else. And then if they hadn't even finished it, maybe they might throw the rest of it away. That's money we're losing, and you paid for it. You've got to recover the cost. So it's very important to make sure you don't throw away a lot of stuff. And watching the garbage can is very, very important. Another example of losing money. Let's see. Y'all are pastry people, correct? Okay, so have y'all ever opened a can of Eagle brand milk or condensed milk, the thick condensed milk, or opened any sort of canned product that's thick? When you dump it out of the can, there's still stuff inside the can. So if you don't scrape that can out, wipe it, scrape it down with a rubber spatula, you're losing, like, tomato paste or whatever else. You're losing money. So making sure that you scrape out those cans, or scrape out, because no matter what, you paid for every ounce of that product in that can. You paid for it. You deserve every ounce of it. So the minute you throw away a little bit, you're throwing away your own money. And I talk about it as your money. It's the restaurant's money, but I'm trying to tell you, you're the owner, you're the manager or the executive chef. And a lot of times, you know, if there's any extra money left over at the end of the year or whatever else, that's your bonus. Usually you get a bonus or something like that, and that's part of your bonus. So just making sure you control those costs. He was the owner, executive chef, train the staff, also, okay. So that's basically, you know, trying to make sure your employees don't steal from you. Has anybody ever worked in a restaurant right now? Or anybody, has anybody worked in a restaurant? Anybody? Okay, well, they have a, okay, in the restaurants, they usually have a thing called a family meal. Or have y'all heard of a family meal before? They feed you, basically. The restaurant feeds you. And the reason why they do a family meal is to keep you from eating the food that you're cooking. Okay, you know, because I don't want, if you're, let's say you're cooking, you're on the grill station and you got all these, you know, steaks and all of that sort of stuff. That costs me, those steaks are expensive, right? The fish, all of that sort of stuff. So I provide them family meal, give them food that's maybe not as expensive as what I'm serving, but I feed them so they're not going to cook their own steak, or they're not going to cook their own fish, or they're not going to take something out of inventory that's really excuse me, that's really for customers and for them to eat it. So that's kind of the theft. And people don't think of it. People don't think of it like theft in that way. You know, but if you cook something and you eat it, I mean, that's, if it's not, if it wasn't given to you, or if they didn't say, hey, you can cook this, that's theft. Another example of theft is sodas. Drink sodas or beverages. That's why a lot of times you'll see, like I had company, or I don't care about like the soda, like if we had a fountain drink, if we had fountain soda, that's fine. I give my employees cups because I don't want, what's going to cost me the most money is the actual cup and the straw and the lid, right? Those things cost the most money. The soda that I get from a that's like pennies. I mean, that's nothing to me, really. It's the cups, it's the lids, it's the straws, it's those things that cost a lot of money. So I will give my employees, I'll buy them a cup with a lid and, like a Yeti or something like that. So where they can have their work cup, and so where they're not going to steal or take. People don't think about it, but I mean, that paper cup is not for you. That paper cup is for the customers. You're not a customer. You're my employee. Does that make sense? So anything that my employee takes that's supposed to be for my customers, that is considered quote unquote stealing or whatever else. But my employees are not giving me money in return. So I'm losing money. So no matter what, I'm down a cup, I'm down a straw, I'm down a steak, I'm all of those things, all of that adds up. And if my employee goes every single day and gets a soda with a cup and a lid and a straw every single day, that adds up. throughout the year. So you just got to be very careful with that. Let's see. Do y'all want to take another 10-minute break? Let's take another 10-minute break. Actually, let's come back at 9 o'clock and we'll talk for about 10 more minutes and I'll give you, and it'll be done. Cool?
Heard, chef.
Heard,
Cool.
chef.
Cool beans.
Heard.
Cool. Come back in 10 and we'll finish it up. All right. Today we'll finish up a little early, but the one thing I didn't do is what's growing on. So let me do that real quick. All right, what's growing on? Let's see here.
Chef,
Yes.
I have a question. So is class generally going to be from 7 to 10?
It's usually going to be around from 7 to 9:30-ish, usually.
Okay.
It should go to till 10. There's only a few days that there's enough, usually enough content and enough time. There's only maybe a handful of days that we go all the way to 10 o'clock. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Chef, that definitely answers my question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and usually the latest is around 9:30 is usually when I usually kind of let everybody out. So here's the holiday schedule for 2021. So these are some days that we're going to be having off or in service. Sometimes I might be working, but you are going to have off. So if you want to take a photo of that, whatever else, that is the days we're going to be having off. Do you need a new phone number or ad? Oh, okay. Do you please make sure you send any, if you have a new phone number or a address, please email S. Farley, Shelley Farley at staff.escoffier.edu. She's the registrar. That's a good person to keep her phone number handy, or I'm not her phone number, her email address handy, because if you need anything, she's a great asset. Let's see if you're having any issues, you need flu vaccine, mental health issues, food assistance, COVID testing, rent, or utility help. Here are some phone numbers and resources for you. They should start putting in vaccination stuff in there fairly soon. But mental health, if you need any help, guys, please. It's not a bad thing to ask for help. Especially right now, we're all kind of going through a lot of stuff. So, always, if you know of anybody that needs help, man, give them this information, whatever else. Just don't let it go, because it could harm you and cause other issues. So, talk to somebody, call someone, talk to them. If you don't have anybody, you can call me. You got my number. You can always call me. I'll listen to you for sure. But no matter what, find someone to help you. Very important. If you've lost any loved ones, I know a lot of people. I mean, I can only imagine everybody has been touched with COVID at some point in the family. You probably know someone that has had it or has passed away. Please, you need to help out and help yourself out. Do a little self-care for yourself. If you need any financial issues, luckily this is not a cooking class, so you don't have to worry about your stipends and all of that, because I know that was kind of an issue in other classes. making sure your stipend is done on time and all of that sort of stuff. But financial aid questions, please feel free to email Mary Reardon. She is the money lady. She deals with the stipends and all of that good stuff. Zendesk, if you're having problems with anything, getting on the portal, getting on your email, any of that sort of stuff, please contact the Zendesk. I would actually just call them is fairly easy. Or you can get onto their website. Again, CDC says, wash your hands 6 feet apart, all of that goodness. Here we go. Mix half cup of Clorox to a gallon of water. These two people, are very important. They can help you find a job. Extern, it sounds like y'all are getting, a few people are getting ready to go on extern and all of that. I would have these people, I would be talking to them daily or emailing them daily, making sure you've got your externship stuff taken care of and all of that. They're two very nice folks. They will help you out. Here you go, job board. You got a few places you can go look for jobs. Those are Poached. I always go look through Poached, all of those. The school needs some help, but unfortunately this is not for you in your time. Between 8 and 1, Monday through Friday. But if you would like to apply, you can always, I could only imagine there's another class. If you need a job, you can always go work there at the storeroom. The quote of the week. I'll let you live it, love it, breathe it, enjoy it. Just for fun. All right, trivia. What are Alaskan strawberries? Okay, we got potatoes. We have dried, excuse me, dried beans, strawberries shaped like gold nuggets. Someone's cold, and let's see, rhubarb. Anybody? I'm gonna, I don't know. Someone says 2. All right. I'm gonna say, someone says 3. I was gonna say 2. Let's see. Hey, beans. Alaskan strawberries is all right. So there you go, beans. There we have it. All right, so let me stop sharing that. Hold on. Now, let me get on the portal real quick and show you where the video and the PowerPoints are going to be, and then we will call it a day. Hold on a second. Okay, so here is the portal. All right, now, does everybody see, this is Shannon's email right there. Shannon, he is the like student kind of liaison, but I would say if you have any questions or any problems or any problems with, or if you need to do makeup or any of that sort of stuff, Shannon, he is the person to to contact. Okay, so where the PowerPoints are going to be, if you look on where it says day one, does everybody see that? You're going to click on that, and right there is the link to the PowerPoint. Okay, does everybody see it? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, sure.
So that's the link, and right, and so at the end of our day, and it takes a couple of hours for me to post the videos, but the video will be right here, same place where the PowerPoint is going to be. So you know, where you get it, you just go to, so it's going to be today's PowerPoint and video is going to be on day one. So tomorrow, in a little bit, so tomorrow I will post the PowerPoint for day two on there. Okay, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It's just go find day one, day two, day three. That's where the video and the PowerPoints are going to be. In any other information that I'm going to be like a copy, like a example of the projects, any of that sort of stuff, I'm going to be posting in the days. Not, I'm going to be posting it in these areas right here. But I will always tell you, I didn't go over the project much with you today. I just said it was a menu project. We'll get into it in the next couple of days. But what I would like you to think about for this week, what I'd like you to think about is what kind of restaurant or what kind of business you want to run. Like if you want to do a baking and pastry place, if you want to run, or if you want to do you know, whatever, you're going to need to come up with you need a restaurant name, and where do you want that restaurant to be? Okay, do you want it to be in Austin? Do you want it to be whatever else? But for this week, and I'll put that list down. I'll give you a list, but just start thinking about it, and I'll write a list in the next, or I'll write a list for you tomorrow of what I kind of want you to do. But just start thinking about where you want a restaurant to be, what kind of name you want it to be. Okay. Just start kind of getting the you know, creative juices flowing in your brain. Other than that, guys, you got my cell phone number. Chef Cliff Dickerson. You know, whatever you need, I am here for you. Well, I'm cutting you loose a little early today, and I'm good with that. But any questions, problems, concerns? We good?
I have
All
a
right,
question.
then, yes.
Can it be a catering business?
Yes, it can.
Okay, thank you,
It can
Chef.
be a catering business. It could be a bar. It could be, you name it. It could even be just a place that just sells cakes or whatever else. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to ask you to do is kind of come up with 9 different items to put on a menu, 9 or 10 different items. So I mean, that's eventually, but yeah. So anything, any kind of business that can sell food, that's what I want. Cool. All right. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, class will start straight up 7:10. But other than that, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Chef.
All right. Bye, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, Chef.
Bye, guys.
Y'all later.
See you later.
Stay safe.